Oy, the 7 beggars, I will tell you how people once rejoiced. A tale once there was a king who had an only son. The king wanted to pass the kingdom on to his son. In his lifetime he threw a grand party, which they call a ball. And when the king throws a ball, it is certainly very joyous. So particularly now, since he was giving the kingdom to his son in his lifetime, it was certainly a very great joy. And all the nobles of the kingdom and all the dukes and the princes were there, and they were very joyful at the party. And also the country was enjoying this, that he was transferring the kingdom to someone in his lifetime, for it is a great homage to the king. And it was a very great celebration there, and there were all types of festivities, song groups, drama groups, and all sorts of joys of the love of He was all there at the party. And when they had become very joyous, the king stood and said to his son, being that I am a stargazer, and I see that in the future you are to fall from the kingdom, therefore see to it that you do not have sadness when you fall from the kingship. Be only happy, and if you will be happy, I will also be happy. But if you will have sadness, despite this I will be happy that you are not king, for you are not worthy of the kingship. Once you cannot maintain yourself in happiness when you fall from the kingdom, but when you will be happy, then I will be exceptionally happy. Then the son of the king accepted the kingdom high-handedly, very sharply, and he appointed his own nobles and dukes and princes and soldiers. And the son of the king was sophisticated and loved wisdom very much, and had by him very great intellectuals, and whoever came to him with some piece of wisdom was by him in very great esteem, and he would grant them honor and riches for the wisdom to each one according to his desire. One wanted money, he gave money. He gave him money. One wanted honor, he gave them honor. Anything for wisdom, and because studying was so important to him, everyone occupied themselves with wisdom, and the whole nation delved in philosophies. For one who desired money did so in order to receive money for it, and one who desired status and honor, they likewise. And because all of them were busy only with philosophies, therefore they all forgot they were in that country the strategies of war, how to conduct a war, for they were all busy with philosophies until all the citizens were great scholars, so that the least one in that country would be more learned than other people in another country. And the wise men in that country were extremely great scholars, and because of their learnings, these wise men of that country became heretics, and drew also the son of the king into their thinking, and he also became a heretic as well. However, the rest of the people did not become heretics, for there was great depth and subtlety in that wisdom of the scholars. Therefore the rest of the citizens were not able to enter into that wisdom, and it did not harm them. But the wise men and the son of the king became heretics, and the son of the king, because there was good in him, for he was born with good and had good way and upright qualities, would frequently remind himself, where am I in the world? What am I doing? Etc. Where am I? Where am I in the world? What am I doing? Where am I in the world? What am I doing? It's better. He would make big sighs and was very mournful regarding this, that he had fallen to so much puzzlements and had strayed so far that he would sigh, and he would sigh much, and he would sigh much. But as soon as he began to use it, the intellect, the wisdoms of the apostasy returned and became strong again, and was there, and it was like this. And it was this way several times that he would remember as described above, and would savavai had grown. But as soon as he started to use his intellect, the hearsay returned and became strong again. And the day came to pass. There was a flight from a certain country, and they all fled. And in the course of their flights, they passed through a certain forest, and a boy and a girl were lost. Someone lost a male, and someone lost a female, and they were still little children, 4 or 5 years, and they did not have what to eat, and they shouted and cried, for they had not what to eat. Meanwhile a beggar came to them with the sacks which they call tabis, and which he carried bread, and these children started to nudge him and follow him. He gave them bread, and they ate, and he asked them, where did you come from to? They answered him, we know not, for they were little children. And he began to go away from them, and they requested of him that he take them with him. He said to them, this I do not want, that you should go with me. Meanwhile they took a look, and behold, he was blind, and it was a wonder to them. Since he is blind, how does he know how to go? But in truth, it was a novelty that such a question should occur to them, for they were still young children. Only they were wise children, and it was a wonder for them. And he blessed them, this blind beggar, that they should be like him, that they should be all like him. And he left them more bread and went away. And these children understood that Hashem Yisborach was watching over them, and had sent them here, this blind beggar, to give them food. Afterwards the bread was finished by them, and again they began to cry for food. After that it became night, and they lay there in the morning. Again they did not have what to eat, and they wailed and cried. Meanwhile again came a beggar who was deaf, and began to speak to him, and he showed them with his hands, and said to them that he does not hear. And he also gave them bread to eat, and started to go away from them. They also wanted he should take them with him, but he did not want. And he also blessed them that they should be like him. And he also left them bread and went away. Afterwards the bread was finished by them, and again they cried also as before. And again there came to them a beggar who was heavy-mouthed, i.e., he stammered with his speech, and they began to speak with him, and he was stuttering in his speech, and they did not know what he was saying. He knew what they were saying, although they did not know what he said, for he was stuttering. He also gave them bread to it, and started to go away as before, and also blessed them that they should be like him, and went away all as before. Afterwards there came again a beggar whose neck was crooked, and it was also as before. Afterwards there came a beggar who was hunchbacked, which they call holier. Afterwards there came again a beggar without hands. Afterwards there came again a beggar without feet. Each one gave them bread and blessed them that they should be like him, just like those beggars before. Afterwards the bread was finished up by them, and they began to walk away, to walk into a settlement, until they came to a path. They went on that way until they came to one village. The children went inside a certain house. They had pity on them and gave them bread. They went on to some house, and there too they gave them bread. They would go around to houses, to the houses, and they saw that this was good for them. They decided to get between them, that they should be always together. And they made themselves sacks, which they call tabis, and they were going around to the doors, and they went to all the festivities, 2 feasts for circumcisions, to weddings. And they went on and they went to cities, and they were going around to doors, and they went to the marketplaces, and they would sit among the beggars. In the way they sit there, on the prisbes, mounds of earth, where if they tell her I played for collecting alms, until these children became famous among all the beggars. For all of them recognized them and knew of them, that they were the children who were lost in the forest's mansion. One time there was a big fair in a big city. All the beggars went there, and the children also went there. Came to the mind of the beggars that they should match these 2 children, that they should marry each other. And as soon as a few beggars started to talk of it, the thing found favor in the eyes of all of them. And the match was made, but how should they make them? Oh, but how should they make them a marriage? To counsel that being that on one of the days there would be a feast of the birthday of the king, which they call omaaiiinnn. All the beggars should go there, and from what they would request for themselves their meat and bread. From this they would make a wedding, and so it was. All the beggars who went there to the meuman, and they requested for themselves better meat, and also collected what was left over from the meal, meat and bread. They call it big loaf special for celebrations, and they went and took a big nanach, and they went and dug a big pit which would hold 100 people, and they covered with reeds and earth and garbage, and everyone went in there, and they made their wedding for the children, and they entered them to the chuppah, and they were very joyful there, and the groom and the bride were also very happy, and they began to remember the kindnesses Hashem did for them when they were in the forest, and then they started crying and were yearning much. How can the first blind beggar be brought here, who brought us bread in the forest? Nanach, nachman, nachman, nanach, nachma, nachman.